Come on in, kiddo. Come on. Come on. How do, guys? Bit of Blair Witch to start. So 2 questions that I'm going to answer today. First one from a newish officer. Second one, well, I'm not sure what they are, but it's a question that was put to me, which was, if 2 prisoners are fighting, would prison officers intervene? The question from the new prison officer was, you know, how do I know when to get involved in an incident? So I'll just give Laddo his ball and we'll get into it. There you go, kid. Not risking it today. Come on then. Loft House Colliery pit site, guys. How do? This way, Stevie. So the question is about prisoners fighting. When do I intervene? Do staff intervene? Okay. The hat collector. Back in the day when prison officers used to wear caps, there was an officer, I worked with him on K-Wing. He had some skills. He didn't have a presence. He wasn't a fighter. You know, he wasn't someone who had any bottle, but he did have skills. He was a valuable member of the team on K-Wing, and he could talk as well, and sometimes you need talkers. So why did they call him the hat collector? Like I said, back in the day, prison officers in a bit of a rumble with someone, hats everywhere, he would collect the hats, take them back to the office for everybody. I'm on visits, I'm working on K-Wing, but I'm the visits runner, which means I pick prisoners up and take them to visits. After the visits, take them back to the wings. This way, kiddo. I came onto K-Wing. Anyone who's been on K-Wing will know, staff on the 2s used to bellow up, visits, yeah. If there's anyone missing, shout the name, Smith, top of your voice. As I arrives on the 2s landing, the hat collector is at the top of the stairs on the 3s landing. Signals, yeah, it was urgent, in here. So he points to a cell. So I runs up the 2 flights of stairs and in the cell. He has opened the gate for me to get on the landing. Are you having a lie down, kid? He has also just pressed the alarm bell. I goes in the cell. There is Mr. Bertie Bassett, my favourite senior officer. Another member of staff at K-Wing, basically having a bit of a scuffle with the lad and struggling. So I'm in there, 3 of us, take him to the floor, twist him up, wrap him up, get him in locks, restrain him, control and restraint, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Somebody later said to me, well, they were basically calling the hat collector, right? Let me tell you about this guy as well. Physical stature, wiry, I would say, jockey weight. He was getting on at this point, 60 plus, might have been younger, but he looked older. Maybe 9 or 10 stone wet through. Yeah, he wasn't a scrapper. He'd have made no difference. He'd have probably been a hindrance if he'd have been in the cell trying to help. So, to answer part of the question, you know, some officers are going to press an alarm bell and direct troops, yeah, when it's kicking off. If you are unsure, yeah, if you're on your own, nearest alarm bell and press it, yeah. A lot of it is to do with adrenaline as well, and like I said, prison officers, 1 to 100, 100 will steam in, not thinking, like me, verging on stupidity sometimes. Other people, you know, at this end of the scale, you know, might turn their back and go the other way. A few of them as well. Get your ball, kid. A few of them. A few people who'd make their way to the toilet and that. Used to do it subtle, but when it's kicking off, I'd never see that. But it happened, there were people who were known for it. On a, come on kid, CNR refresher, so that's when you're doing all your locks and everything once a year. We used to go in the dojo in the training centre and he'd have a refresher. They'd go round, Sam, when was the last time you were restrained? Last night, healthcare. All right, was that the alarm bell? Yeah. Last time, last week, last time, 2 weeks ago. One lad, I said lad, he was heading up to 65. The instructor said to him, when was the last time you were in a restraint? He says, oh, I don't know, over 20 years. There's no way that lad has not been around an incident, control and restraint, a fight, an assault, anything, and not got involved. Unless he didn't want to get involved, you know what I'm saying? But like I say, and he was proud of that. Everyone else is thinking, how can you not have been involved in anything for 20 years anyway? You know, you don't get prizes for getting involved, and people do get hurt. I've been hurt a few times. So the hat collector, yeah, you've got people like that. If you're unsure, the problem is now as well, prisoners are banged up, they've been banged up. So incidents are going to be spontaneous, it's going to be volatile. You know, they're not out on association or mass association, as Robert Buckland and the POA want to call it, when you've just got prisoners out. All that's gone, definitely. So it's going to be spontaneous. People will react differently. Make sure, wherever you are, you hit an alarm bell. In the training school, you know, people are told, yeah, if you feel unsafe, make your way to a sterile area. Sterile area is where you can't get unless you've got keys. If you've got prisoners, other than when they're placed in there, a sterile area, then you've got problems. There is managers who've taken staff, prison staff, to task because they've just sat at a desk when the other side of the gate, the mates have been trying to restrain a prisoner. There's nothing you can do about it, so it's an individual thing. Like I say, sadly, a big part of that job is learning how to deal and react to people and talk to them, de-escalate, you know, bring people down, dynamic security, build them relationships. That's gone. If people aren't out on landings anymore, you're not going to know them. So it's very much an individual thing, and a lot of people won't know how to react. So there you go. I will give you one incident happened at Strangeways on K-Wing Yard. Come on, laddo. K-Wing Yard, there were two lads. I knew both the lads very well. It had been building for a while. This, bam, on the yard, fight. It was a good scrap. People who can scrap will tell you most fights, unless you've got two trained fighters specifically, are over 30 seconds, knackered, punches fly in, it's done. These two were going at it. So the lad I was on the yard with was another hat collector, which is fine. He was a decent officer, but he was a lover, not a fighter. So I ran to the direction of the incident. I could hear the alarm bell. These two lads are going at it. If I'd have tried to grab hold of one and restrain him, he's probably going to get punched by the other guy. Yeah, and so am I. And I'm not restraining anyone my size when they're fighting. I just ran in like you would on a rugby pitch. Sorry to mention the R word. Bam, hit both these guys, shocked them. Yeah, I ran in hard. They're fighting each other. They're not looking at me coming over. Bam, yeah, pack it in. Boom, shock. They've been at it. Yeah, both out of breath. Can't remember. What's his name now? His name will come to me. One of them caught me in the forehead with a punch as I went in. That's my fault. You know, there'll be people now saying, yeah, I'd have let them fight. Maybe they would. Lots of officers wouldn't. They'd get stuck in, break them up. So I had to place them lads on report, which means it's like a nicking. They have to go in front of a governor for fighting and explain their actions, and they can be punished for that. Various punishments. Okay, so both lads turned up for the nicking. I was down there. When you're going to nicking, you have a governor. It's a bit like a mini court. You have a governor. I'd be sat on one side, the governor, senior officer of the segregation, I'd read the charges out. On the other side, the lad at the end of the table, further away from the governor, with an officer either side, in case he kicked off, because some people did. Both lads went guilty. I nicked them for fighting, yeah. Bang to rights, gov. One of them apologised to me. He did say, you know, I caught Miss Samworth with a punch, didn't intend, you know, it wasn't intentional. I put myself in that position. Take it on the chin, don't you? Or the temple, as it were. The governor watched the footage from the yard, from the cameras, and he questioned me. The first thing he said is, I can't see any other staff. This is separate. The lads have gone now. Can't see any other staff. And he says, you've assaulted them 2 prisoners. I says, okay, Gov, where would you be? Heading towards the toilet. That's what I said. Not the right thing to say. He pissed me off. The senior officer of the seg, who I got on with, went, right, Miss Samworth, thank you. Got one of his staff to escort me out of the adjudication room, because I would have got in trouble. You can get in trouble in the prison service, you know. It is supposed to be a disciplined service, but at the end of the day, pissed me off. And he was a knobhead. Okay, guys. I've got an interview. LJ, hopefully going up Sunday night. If not, I've got a question and answer. That's somebody asking me questions, tough questions as well. There you go. Stephen, let's have a parting shot, kid. Hope everyone has the best weekend possible. I don't know what the weather's going to be like. Usual thanks, continued support. Nice comments, the videos that have gone up this week. You know, some people have got tough lives, challenging, and we all get challenged in life, but it's nice that, you know, people are supporting them with some great comments. Thanks, guys. Stephen, parting shot. Yes, boy. How we doing, eh? Don't we love you, eh? Don't we just? Al City. Thanks for coming, guys. Cheers.